welcome back to Two Birds and a Third. We're here again with, of course, Josh, Hank, DJ, bringing you live football talk from a Thursday night here. And we are sponsored today for St. Patrick's Day by
Guinness, one of the most favorite draft beers known as the Irish.
Since 1759.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Irish and, well, anybody who really drinks beer. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Exactly.
Go out there.
Who really drink though?
Be sure that you're safe and get home safe.
Please, everyone,
Uber, Lyft. Actually, you know, if you're trying
take
to
a
avoid,
cab.
but
Hell, pretend like you're in the early 2000s, late 90s and take a cab.
777777777.
All right. So in today's podcast, we are going to be talking about free agency. We are going to be discussing whether the college offenses affect NFL quarterbacks or incoming NFL quarterbacks. Then we're going to take a short break. And then we are going to go over March Madness. And then we're going to play another little game of buy or sell.
oh,
A little game. A wee little game.
Let's hope the luck of the Irish is finding some of these teams in free agency, because we have had a lot going on, not just in the Bay Area, but also for all of our teams. And, you know, guys have been traded out. Guys have come in. There's still spaces we need to fill. I think almost all the big names, except for the Tony Romo, who still is kind of floating out there, and
Adrian Peterson,
Nick Mangold, the center, but Jared Cook just signed
with the Raiders, and that's what I was just going to touch on. I think we should start with the Raiders. What do you think?
Let's do that.
I think
let's talk about Jared Cook and signing with the Raiders. Obviously, we're going through free agency, so let's. Yeah, what do you have?
Well, what I heard is that he just got signed by the Raiders. I don't know the details yet. Hank, do you know the details?
He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal where the first year is guaranteed, and then it's a second-year option. Very safe play for the Raiders, which is what they absolutely need to do, because they're about to have to set aside a lot of money to keep Khalil Mack, Derek Carr, Amari Cooper. We always talk about it, right, Hank?
Right. That's like the trio, basically. They need it. They need to keep that to be the winning formula, you know. Because they got Derek Carr, who helps people put gas in their tank and does prayers with them. He's just he's just an awesome guy, you know.
Yeah.
He's way cooler than his brother.
I was actually driving down the road with Lisa, reading that article, Hank, and I literally almost threw my phone in my lap, and in exclamation, I just told Lisa, I'm like, why is Derek Carr just such a good human being? Pulls over on the side of the road in his Denali to find some broken down guy walking. He's just like, hey, everything okay?
It's true.
It's just, what a great guy.
Well, first off, I'm hoping you're not driving while you're reading that article.
No, I was driving.
No, Lisa was driving. That's why I said I was with Lisa.
You know the difference between him and Tim Tebow would be like, if Derek Carr would give you some gas. Tim Tebow would just get on one knee and be like, please, God, give him some gas. Gas will come out of...
And then hop back in his Florida Gator colored pickup truck and drive away and just say, well, good luck, partner. God bless.
Why is everybody hating on Tim Tebow? It's like he attracts hate for no reason. No reason. He's just trying to go play minor league baseball. That's all.
You know why? As Monty Curtis would put it, he is one of the only people who can be so basic and so extra at the same time. Like he really is. Tim Tebow is the most basic Christian white guy, but at the same time he is the most extra Christian white guy. Like, I mean, look at him. He's doing the whole praying thing on the field, but people love it. People love Tim Tebow. There's a lot of people
that do that, but there's not a lot of white people that do that.
That's a lie.
Not a lie.
It's not we're hating on him.
I'm not
we're
talking
just
general.
joking.
I'm talking like in sports. Think about that.
Yeah, I've seen Derek Carr totally throw up some love to God.
Again, white guy who's doing that. It's a little bit different.
But we don't make fun of Derek Carr like we do Tim Tebow.
But hold up.
Tim Tebow's won a playoff game. Derek Carr hasn't.
Hold up.
Let's not play that card.
Hold up. But Nick Foles He's every much a Jesus lover and a Christian as Derek Carr is, or as Tim Tebow is, but we don't. But he's not like vocal about it. He doesn't dance and prance around. He'll like thank God and Jesus during the press conferences a little bit when he's getting interviewed, and he'll do the prayer circle after the game. But that's it. He doesn't like go out there and just like shove it down your throat.
I
don't think Tebow's even throwing it down your throat. When was the last time let's just put it out there. When was the last time, besides maybe praying in the end zone and scored that touchdown in Denver?
Like every time.
When was the last time you see him do anything?
He didn't score the touchdown. He threw it to Demaryius Thomas.
He ran in a touchdown in Denver.
The playoff?
No, not the playoff game.
Oh.
I'm talking about just a long line.
His other six games in Denver.
I'm pretty
won a playoff game, right?
I'm pretty sure when the Eagles stupidly signed him for a preseason, he scored a touchdown and he went on a knee or something like that.
Didn't his jersey when he signed with the Jets, even though he didn't even start? Was it the Jets that he signed with and like didn't even start a game, but signed with him, and then like his jersey was like the number 5 selling jersey?
No, that was probably when he was with the Eagles. Because on the Jets, he actually played during a season. With the Eagles, he just played during the preseason. And I was just like praying to God. I was like, Chimp, just please, just cut him. Just do it. Just cut him.
No, that would be losing money. Losing money as an organization because your jersey sales would go down after that.
Well, thank God Tim Tebow's not a free agent, but the Raiders did just sign EJ Manuel, who's a quarterback as well. And he's a running quarterback, so who knows what they're going to implement.
So are they going to drop McGroin or?
Probably. Connor Cook and EJ Manuel will find out.
Connor Cook will probably stay on as like the third quarterback.
EJ and Connor will fight it out. Dude, don't judge Connor because he was the only rookie ever whose first start in the NFL was in a playoff game against the number 1 defense. I cannot blame him for anything I saw in that live game because I've never seen what he's like in practice. I've never seen how he does with the number 1 team training with them. I don't know anything about Connor Cook like that, so I can't judge. I saw his tape from college. Looked decent. Looks like he can run a pro-style offense.
All I'm saying is I'm excited to see, though. This is my favorite thing to say. The play on his name is second to none in this world. McGroin, it just sounds the same.
Matt McGroin?
Matt McGroin. And even his first name makes you think Matt McGroin. Matt McGroin.
Matt Groin. McGroin.
I think he kind of blew. I think he blew his chance when Derek Carr got hurt and he came in and he looked like he was so scared to be out there.
Now, where did he play that game?
Who was the last game of the season for the Raiders against? They lost.
It was the second to last game of the season where he got injured against the Colts, and then he played the last game against the Broncos, and then he got injured.
No, yeah, Hank, we weren't talking about Carr. Carr got injured. I remember Carr got injured in the Colts game.
No, I know, but you're talking about McGloin. He started the last game of the season, but he also played in reserve for Carr.
Right. No, I'm saying, but he started He started the last game of the season, Matt McGloin.
Well, at the same time, he was playing the Broncos in Denver. That's a hard game. I think that also was that? I don't know if that was his first start or not, but I don't think he had played in a few years.
That was his first start with the Raiders.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Well, like a year or two. He started. He must have started the year before Derek Carr because Derek Carr didn't get hurt his first year, right?
I don't think so. He might have played it. I know he played some in 2013, but I don't know if he started. It's possible that he started because I know that it was Terrell Pryor was the original starter, and they signed him, and then the rest is history.
Talk about that.
Yeah, well, Terrell Pryor went to where did he go? The Redskins.
The Redskins.
Yeah.
For a 1-year deal. Hey, do you think talking about free agency, Hank? Do you think Kirk Cousins is going anywhere, or do you think he's going to stay at Redskins?
I think he's going to stay. The team wants him to stay. He just wants to get traded. I don't think they're going to give him an option.
He wants to go to San Francisco.
Why does he hate the Redskins so much, Hank? They're in your division. What's going on there?
Because they keep lowballing him. He wants a I don't know, but I think he wants a long-term contract, and and
Chauncey
they
tagging
are
him?
just like, we're just gonna keep franchise tagging you, which I don't think they can do after. I don't think they can do that again after this season.
I don't think so
They
either.
can only
because-
you can only franchise a player. Any team they go to, you can't. A player's only franchise taggable like twice or 3 times. You can't just keep doing it.
So even if he goes to another team, they can't franchise tag him?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
A little bit. Well, yeah, that would make sense because that's not fair because then everyone would live in
Then
the
you
league on
just keep
franchise tag.
franchise tagging them.
Yeah. So that makes sense because, and you know what? Honestly, I know we've touched on this subject because they're in your division, Hank, but I think the Redskins are dumpster fire right now, dude. They are just.
The thing is, they always seem like that, especially in preseason. But then they
But then
will
do
always
decently.
beat the Eagles. I mean, I can't really say we haven't beaten them in like almost 2 calendar years. It's sad, but we beat the Giants every year. It's so screwed up.
Well, dude, that's the division for you, dude. The Ravens have been having a hard time with the Bengals, you know.
Yeah.
They just. Hey, what do you think of that trade with the 49ers where they got Jeremy Zuta for moving up 9 spots in the 6th
Their
round?
line is definitely improving. I mean, it was I think that was like an obvious move that you just have to make. I mean, you got to get a mainstay center who's decent, you know, or at least good.
As the Ravens? You think it was a smart move for the Ravens, correct, Hank?
Yeah. Well, what'd they trade for?
Yeah, well, they traded for a 6th round, moved up 9 spots, but I think the best part was originally they were just going to release him. Like that was the plan all along.
Was he not?
They were
He wasn't a starting. Was he a starting center?
He was a starting center, and he quote unquote made a Pro Bowl. But
That was a long
I
time
mean-
ago.
don't get me wrong, no, he made a Pro Bowl last year.
Oh,
Hank.
he
He
made
was
it
the
last
Pro Bowl
year.
center last year.
Nice.
But
I
it
didn't
was
know
because
that.
he was an alternate. He was like the 3rd or 4th alternate for the Pro Bowl.
Well, that's what happened to the Eagles. Jason Kelsey made the Pro Bowl as like a 2nd alternate, just merely by name. And the Eagles are obviously trying to trade him, but
Yeah.
we're
Well,
gonna
I
have to find like one of those stupid teams that's just gonna
You know
take
what?
him.
I think Zuda will work better for what Shanahan wants to do for the Niners. So I think the Niners did well. The Ravens were going to let him go anyway. So the fact that they moved up
Get
some spots
something.
in the 6th round, I know it sounds pointless, but they got something
Yeah,
literally that they
that's
were going to get nothing for originally. So I think in the end, it's a quote unquote win-win. The Ravens just signed Carr, the cornerback
Brandon
from
Carr.
the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Brandon Carr.
Kelly's Cowboys lost both starting cornerbacks.
Oh my God! Give her my regards. I saw that today. They lost both of them. The Jets signed Claiborne,
it was
and then the Ravens get Carr.
It was a good year to do that though because the cornerbacks in this draft are so good.
Well, and yeah, and you know what I'll tell you, Hank? I'm really glad the Ravens actually didn't get Claiborne because he was asking for $7 million a year, and he's never played an entire season in his entire career.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't see, especially the Ravens. I can't see them spending $7 million.
And they both weren't even that good. Honestly. They were like the weakest part of that defense.
Yeah.
So, how about Adrian Peterson, guys? Where do you think he's going? I think the only place that he can go right now is Raiders. Because the Minnesota Vikings just stole the Raiders running back. Then Seattle's already gotten Eddie Lacy for French fries and $5 million a year.
Because the Raiders probably won't be able to get Dalvin Cook. He probably won't make it out of the 20th pick.
That's why they're forced to get Adrian Peterson now, and Adrian Pearson's forced to get with the Raiders. I think the Raiders played this perfectly. They're going to get dirt cheap now.
Well, the draft's in April, right?
Yeah, the draft's in April, but I still don't think that Adrian Peterson stays on the board much longer. I think you give another.
No, I don't think he stays on the board much longer. But I mean, what are the other teams out there that could be interested in an Adrian
No one but the
Peterson?
Raiders right now.
We still talk about the Giants, and I think that the Packers might. I mean, I know that they want to keep Ty Montgomery, but I think the Packers will always be a possibility Did they?
I
sign,
guess
did the
they
Packers
just
sign a
lost
running
Lace,
back?
So, but here's the thing, guys. There's a bunch of running backs still left on the table here. We got like Garrett Blunt, Jamal Charles. You also have
Hank, do you think something's wrong with Jamal Charles' leg that he's?
Yeah.
Everyone's staying away from him. I don't think
he's
going to be.
Yeah, I've been telling you that for the past 2 years.
Yeah. He's
Let's see. Kristen Michaels still out there. D'Angelo Williams. We got a whole bunch of people. So this is what's really hurting Adrian Peterson is there's a bunch of running backs out there that are much younger than him and have a better upside, and they don't come with as much baggage.
Much younger. I mean, who's
Christine Michael?
Christine Michael's younger, but not everyone else is.
D'Angelo Williams
well,
is
the thing is
like
that Adrian Peterson's about to be an 11-year veteran.
Got 3 or 4 good years left in him. Like Garrett Blunt?
Yeah, I guess so.
All these
But
other
remember,
guys were at least drafted in 2010.
Come back.
Yeah, you're right, but that's why, and if you know this again, the Raiders are not looking for an everyday back. They have those two.
But I don't think Adrian Peterson fits the Raiders' play style.
Oh, they don't. They've been known to run both the shot. I know the shotgun, but they go pro.
But Adrian Peterson will never run. He hates running out of the shotgun. He hates running out of the shotgun.
You gotta get a Christine Michael. That would be a good get for the Raiders.
Think so?
Hell yeah. That's a guy who's coming directly from Seattle, who's already got he's got injury issues. Again, all running backs besides D'Angelo Williams.
Could the Raiders possibly take back Rashad Jennings?
That'd be hilarious.
Well, what about D'Angelo Williams?
That too. I don't know why. Actually, I think D'Angelo Williams is the oldest running back right now.
He is.
He's older than Peterson.
But here's the thing. I would take D'Angelo Williams because he's put up 2 really – when he filled in for Le'Veon Bell,
that's the thing.
My God, he saved the beginning of my fantasy year because I had him, and he ran so well. And then guess what, guys? The second half of the season, he barely ran at all. Fresh legs. You know what I mean? So he's coming into this year a free agent on pretty fresh legs.
Yeah,
Le'Veon Bell ran the ball.
5 games this year.
Started 5 games as the number one running back. He played more.
I thought he started. No, he only started 3.
He only started 3, and then
he was 4.
No, was it?
Because Le'Veon Bell's suspension. It wasn't we caught you smoking pot in your drug test. He was like, I'm just not going to take the drug test, and they gave him 4 games and they put it down to 3.
Yeah, but D'Angelo Williams ran well in those 3 games, and you have 2 young running backs in Jalen Richard and Washington.
That's what I'm saying. You have 2 of those guys who are going to be either a satellite back or they're going to just be in rotation. I think if you add any one of these running backs from what's left over, you're good to go as the Raiders, and that's why they haven't signed anybody yet.
I also think that not many teams are staying away from these running backs because there are a plethora of running backs in this draft. There's Dalvin Cook. There's the guy from LSU. What's his name?
Leonard
Fournette. There's Christian McCaffrey. There's Joe Mixon. If you want a guy who punches women, there's Brian Hill from Wyoming. There's what's his name from? There's the Samaji something from Oklahoma too. And then who else? Donta Foreman from Texas. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, but that kind of segues perfectly, Hank, into the college system.
Right.
And do you think the college system is ruining? Oh, to answer your question, though, I think you're very right. I think a lot of people are staying away from running backs because there are so many young, healthy running backs. And look at the current NFL. You don't need to get a running back in the first round for him to be great. Look at Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sometimes you find these gems in the 2nd or 3rd round nowadays,
Right.
So I don't think teams are as worried as they used to be in the past about, if we don't get a running back in the first round, they're probably not going to be very good.
Yeah.
That's how teams used to think, that you need really top tier running backs in the first round.
Running backs
and now
disposable position.
Exactly.
Well, and that's a segue. Do you think this college system and this system is kind of ruining the NFL because, well, not ruining the NFL, but it's putting a step back on a lot of rookies stepping into the league because, I mean, the whole entire blocking scheme is different. What quarterbacks have to read is different. What defenses run is different because everyone's running a nickel or a dime defense in college because they're putting 4 or 5 people out in routes to run around.
Exactly.
And
I totally agree with that assessment because, I mean, what was it? Who was the guy who went to Ohio State and won the Heisman that one year? And then
Troy Smith?
Yeah, Troy Smith, and he went in the 6th round. It's
Ravens.
like these college quarterbacks, they're like, "Oh, he can run. He's good." Right? If he can run and if he can run for 11, 12 touchdowns a season and go and run for 800, 900, some like Michael Vick or Steve Young kind of thing, then he's a good college quarterback. But when they come into the NFL, it's like, no, the read option is not a part of it.
You're not outrunning everybody because in college, you can outrun a linebacker and some safeties. But in the NFL, as a quarterback, most guys are faster than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Except for Michael Vick, he used to have and Colin Kaepernick used to have wheels. Tyrod Taylor actually has a better 10-yard split than Colin Kaepernick does in a 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
But regardless, there's a few guys in the league right now. Russell Wilson, he's quick.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
not anymore. He's hurt now. I don't know if he's ever going to be the same either.
Oh, dude, we'll see. He didn't. Okay, here's the thing about that, DJ. I don't think he ever got hurt.
He played through injuries.
But he didn't get hurt in an egregious way.
You're right.
They got knocked out of the playoffs early. They didn't make a deep run. They were out in the first week.
He is young enough.
The second week.
Enough.
They beat the Lions.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, second. Yeah, you're right, Hank. They beat the Lions. Sorry, I count that as it's like an extra bye week in the playoffs. It's the Lions.
Now, this is how I feel about it.
I'm sorry, Lions fans. They're not that bad. I like the Lions.
I rooted for the Lions until I'm the Browns guy. So.
Matthew Stafford's a Georgia boy, so go Lions.
Yeah. Woo. He's also a Texas boy too.
But I feel the college system. I mean, I can reoppose the question to you. It's in a different way. Is it ruining it or is it just changing it? So
I don't think it's changing it because the thing is the NFL. Yes, it's changing into more of a passing league, but it's nothing like the college system. The college system isn't changing the NFL into it. I think the college system is so different than the NFL. I'm selling because the college system is so different from the NFL that it's just the kids are taking longer to adapt, especially linemen.
I don't know.
Edge rushers.
There are quarterbacks in college that you had a guy what was his name's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech, and he threw 80 what felt like 80 passes in one game because Texas Tech's offense is the air raid. You pass the ball on every down. On first and second down, it's incomplete, and then on third down, you get a first down. This guy threw for I feel like he threw for almost 600 or 700 yards in a game.
He blew away the FBS record. I remember that game.
Kelly just told me he threw for over 1,000 yards in a game.
In a game?
In a game, yes.
Oh.
And they scored 70 points. They were playing Oklahoma. It was ridiculous. And I feel like you have Heisman winning quarterbacks like a Tim Tebow, like an RG3, and they'll come into the league and they'll play okay for their first season or they'll play really well for their first season, but then they just get exposed. These NFL
they figure you out.
If you draft one of these guys really early and they end up becoming your future starter, RG3's game was so watered down, quick passes, read option, and then when he finally got injured and he actually had to use his brain, he needed to diagnose cornerbacks and blitzes and stuff like that. He just couldn't do it.
Well, look at it this way, Hank. I was going to say, I think it is detrimental, DJ, because look at what it's doing to quarterbacks. The last 2 drafts, name a top flight quarterback.
What do you mean a top flight quarter? Like a really good one?
No, you're right. But because if you look at the great quarterbacks that have come out of a draft, if you drafted a good quarterback, sometimes you get those, eggs like Michael Vick. Deshaun Watson could be one of those eggs. We have yet to see what that could turn out to be. Everybody's hating on his whole. Everybody's hating on his accuracy. That could change very easily. But what I think is a pro style quarterback, and I'm not just saying this because I'm high on the guy, but Mitch Trubisky, he ran in a pro style system. The guys who have the most familiarity with that coming in
11 games.
Again, more experience than anyone else did in that system.
Yeah,
that's why he's so highly touted. I would say that a guy.
You're telling me you would use first round.
Jesus, why are you putting words in my mouth?
Because I'm
saying his talent. If a team needed a quarterback and a quarterback was going to be a franchise quarterback, this is what they need. If that's their top need,
but that's not. That doesn't mean from the topic that we were talking about.
No, I know.
We were talking about the pro style system.
That's why I'm saying that great quarterbacks come from a pro style system in the game.
You have a guy like Jared Goff, right? And he was the first overall pick last year. And he played very well in college. But Cal, they run that spread system. I'm not saying that Jared Goff is going to be a bad quarterback. Because I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future, okay? But last season, we could really see his faults as a passer. Not just because that offense sucked and they had a bad offensive line and Jeff Fisher is a horrible he doesn't do offense, let's be honest here. But he didn't do well. He didn't do as well as Prescott. He didn't do as well as Wentz. He didn't even do as well as Paxton Lynch. And I think Paxton Lynch helped win some games for the Broncos last season.
What's the correlation with all those people, though? They all came from if you look back in their college career, they weren't that spread offense.
Dak did not come from a pro-style system, and neither – I don't know – Paxton Lynch came from a pro-style system, but if you look at a guy like Trevor Siemian?
Siemian. Yeah. No, but what about Dak? Dak came from Mississippi State, which I do believe they –
But they didn't run a pro-style offense.
Which is why people downgraded him when he came.
Exactly. That's why they downgraded him. And because they all yeah.
How about this, though? Is that why Dallas took him? Because they drafted Ezekiel Elliott in that same way. They were going to change their offense. Because they don't really run a pro style either.
Didn't Dallas
wasn't the only reason Dak started was a Kellen Moore broken ankle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kellen Moore, the rabbit from Boise State.
Broke his ankle in training camp.
Also, wasn't Dallas trying to draft Bryce Petty? Or Hackenberg? Hackenberg.
Yes, I think they were.
Yeah, they're looking at – oh, my God.
But he got taken.
Just remember – Dallas really wanted to draft Johnny Manziel that year.
No, that was 2 years ago. 2014.
That year that they wanted to draft Johnny Manziel. Obviously, there wasn't more years that they wanted to draft him than one.
Kelly just said that
Jerry did. Steven talked him out of it. We drafted Zach Martin, rookie All-Pro.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, Kelly, you guys know exactly what you're doing over there.
At least Steven Jones knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's like, Johnny Manziel.
I think the Cowboys have a lot of talent to go really far. Sometimes Jerry Jones, he just says and does things that I'm like, Jerry, you were so close. You were so close. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that the college system, there's some things. Wide receivers are getting way more notice. Wide receivers are becoming
but that's unaffected. So there's certain positions that are really unaffected by like Like
running backs, not. You don't need a running back anymore.
Wide receivers, I feel like defensive backs and wide receivers also don't. Some wide receivers don't translate well because they come into the NFL and they can't catch like Nelson Aguilar, or they come into the league and they can't run routes. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like an Oregon wide receiver. You wouldn't pick an Oregon wide receiver because what's their route tree? Curls, streaks, slants, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like screens. The basics.
Yeah, the basics.
They can't run a 1 through 9 or anything like that. Like,
exactly.
They're doing they can't digest like options and stuff like that and how to do all those things. So, yeah, I think that the college system, unless it's a pro style, which doesn't always translate, and of course there's going to be gems that can adjust to the NFL.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think sometimes the college system is doing more harm than good. The way they're trying to score 80 points a game,
right?
And like, there's no fundamental defense anymore. And I think that's why in the NFL, defenders are becoming really, really highly paid players because it's almost translating, into like in college you have these linebackers that can almost play safety because they have to be able to roam around the field in college. So then they come into the NFL. You get a guy like, what's his name from Michigan? Jabril Peppers. Guy runs like a 4.3 40 or something, 4.4 40.
It's crazy.
As a linebacker.
Yeah.
And
he'll play safety though. He'll play
safety.
He'll play box safety.
Unless he learns to bulk up, Hank. Remember, some of these guys, like,
true.
Especially once you get into an NFL locker room on an NFL team where you have a nutritionist, a certified strength and conditioning coach, and all of that. I think that really helps you. Some of these guys really learn how to put on weight in a good way and become NFL ready just because they get to the NFL.
And that's what you hope for. But all in all, I think it affects one position more than the other, the college system. I do believe that's a quarterback position in some cases. So
I agree.
I think right here is a good time to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you guys. We got a couple more topics to touch on. One being my March Madness bracket. We'll see if me or Hank, and we're going to teach Josh a little bit about college basketball. I'm just but yeah, we're going to get back to some March Madness. After that, we'll play the most highly anticipated game in sports podcast, Buy or Sell. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Welcome back to Two Birds and a Third podcast.
But yeah, so we have a couple of brackets here to bring out for you guys. I think we're going to start out. Do you guys want to start out with mine, or Kelly, do you want to start out, or Hank, do you want to be the one to go?
How about you go first?
Okay. All right, well, let's see. So let's start with this. Who do you think is going to win? I think it's Arizona.
I've got UCLA.
I put Oregon accidentally, but I think Villanova's gonna win it again.
Yeah, that's a popular pick around here.
If Oregon does win, I'm still gonna pretend that I didn't say that, Even though it's on record.
Okay, well, in the East, I'm going to start from the top here. So we had Villanova play MSM at this point. I picked Villanova. Obviously, they won. The next game here, Wisconsin versus Virginia Tech, was pretty I had a toss-up there for me, but I went Big Ten. Wisconsin won. I got that one. University of Virginia played UNC Wilmington. That's an easy pick, even though it was a close game. I went with UVA. Florida, I picked over Eastern Tennessee. SMU, I think the game before this, SMU and USC, we'll talk about that later. But the other games that played was Gonzaga. Obviously, that's an easy win versus South Dakota State. Oh, this is the talk of the whole draft draft. The whole talk of the March Madness at this point. Northwestern versus Vanderbilt. Everybody picked Vandy. Northwestern ended up taking that one.
Not everybody.
I picked Northwestern.
Oh, I did. I picked Northwestern as well, but Vanderbilt was because Northwestern's first time in the tourney. They think it was just going to be one and done after that. But yeah, Northwestern won that one by 2. I took Notre Dame over Princeton. That was a good game though, 60-58. Notre Dame won. West Virginia was an easy pick, and then the one that I got wrong was Maryland and Xavier. You should never pick against Xavier in the first round in the tourney. They're a tournament team for a reason. Then there's Florida State, played Florida Gulf Coast. Florida State won, got that one. St. Mary's, the Bay Area team, one Bay Area team in there. We got that one 85-77 over VCU. Arizona, that's the 100 mark.
That's where my sister's ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend goes. Shout outs to her. Just kidding.
Very cool. And then there's Iowa State over Nevada. I got that one. Purdue over Vermont. I got that one as well. Middle Tennessee over Minnesota. I took Middle Tennessee in that game. Minnesota lost. And then Butler I picked as well over Winthrop. That's it. The only one I missed so far out of today was the Maryland and Xavier. So that's mine. What about your guys's?
Do you want to go?
I picked Virginia Tech over Wisconsin. Lost that one. I also picked Princeton over Notre Dame, which almost happened. It's just Notre Dame, I feel like, chokes in most sports. But not today. Who else did I get wrong? I picked Nevada over Iowa, which was wrong. And over Iowa State, sorry. And that was it.
That was it? Okay. Well, I mean, it's okay. You still got a lot more teams to play, so we'll see what happens afterwards.
Yep.
So I was perfect. Just kidding. So I got the Villanova game right. That to me was obvious, and obvious to most people with brains. And I ended up picking Wisconsin. Kelly and I were sitting at the bar, and she was like, "Those Big Ten teams," and like
it got real.
It got close. It was close. I'm not even like. It's not even that it was closer than I thought it would be. It was a really close game, like right to the end. And then Virginia Tech just kept fouling Wisconsin. And then I picked UVA. I picked Florida. My whole the whole East part was correct. I picked Nevada. I picked Nevada to beat Iowa State. I thought that was like a 12-5 thing to do. I picked Purdue, and they beat Vermont. And then in the West, I picked Gonzaga. And then the Vanderbilt Northwestern game, I picked Vandy.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
I had to do it to myself.
It's okay, man. Now you got to run with Cinderella. But I don't know. We'll talk about the next games later. But then, yeah, that's a tough one. But
yeah, and then I picked the Notre Dame game. It was really close. I feel like for me, it's either you pick Notre Dame and they lose, or you don't pick them and they win. And this time, I just got extremely lucky. I picked West Virginia to beat Bucknell. I'm sorry to my cousin who's a Bucknell Buffalo alum. Florida State, I picked them. I picked VCU because I was like, I remember they used to be really good, but they're obviously not as good to win in the first round. Arizona, bear down. I was watching it with Kelly at the bar, and it was awesome. I was pretending I knew what I was talking about. Middle Tennessee, I picked Minnesota. It's whatever. And then I picked Butler, who won, and I think I missed 4. I think I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. So far,
Okay.
DJ's in the lead.
Hey, it's okay. It's very early. Okay, a lot of stuff can happen here.
Exactly.
I kind of want to just point out a couple interesting games here that we have coming up next. I want to say something about UC Davis. UC Davis beat their inward game, so they had to play a game before they get into the tournament. I got to give a big shout out to UC Davis alum. I have a bunch of friends that came from there, so that's a big, big thing for them. It's a pretty tall task trying to go against Kansas, but Kansas is a number 1 seed, and UC Davis is a 16 seed, and historically there actually haven't been any 16 seeds that have beaten the number 1 seed ever.
Yeah. The two seeds beat, or 15 seeds beat 2 seeds all the time.
Yes, that does happen. There is always one 15 seed that gets through, but which one is that? Can it be Northern Kentucky taking down Kentucky?
Duke once lost in the first round before.
Michigan State too.
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year. That was Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Middle Tennessee.
So how about this, Kelly? I heard you don't like Big Ten schools in the tournament.
Just historically, they don't do well as a conference in the tournament.
I completely understand. I do have. Ohio State's been in there. You always have Michigan State going in the Final Four. Wisconsin beat Kentucky a couple of years back. It was the best team in the nation they're perfect up until that point. So I get it. Because this year they didn't do jack squat. Indiana didn't get in. Ohio State didn't get in. Michigan's on this little Cinderella run, which I'm actually pushing through a little bit further now. But so you're a Pac-12 girl, huh?
No,
Big
she's a
12.
Big 12.
Big 12. Oh, that's why you hate the Big Ten.
But I've got Baylor losing tomorrow.
We have Baylor losing, and we both picked Baylor to lose in the first round.
It's a typical Baylor thing to do, like they did last year. Lost against Harvard in the first round when Harvard hadn't been in the tournament in 62 years. Plus,
Harvard.
This has just been a rough year for Baylor as a school, and I wish, as a TCU fan, I wish nothing but bad things on them.
Your wishes have come true.
I hate Baylor.
It looked like even their head women's basketball coach didn't care about the girls at that point.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Exactly. Yeah, that was screwed up.
So back to this though. What interesting games that pop out to you guys? Kelly, start off. What games pop up in the first round here that kind of pique your interest?
Goodness. So I literally don't watch any college basketball throughout the year. I hate it because I think it's so slow, and the 3-point line and the shot clock issues just make me angry. But I love a good upset.
Tell me what you really feel.
And usually I'm pretty good at picking upsets. Over 80% of the upsets come from teams that are in the top 30 in offensive efficiency. So that's what I kind of go by. New Mexico State's up there in offensive rating. So
Wichita State. I'm picking Wichita State because I learned from last year. I'm picking Wichita. I am picking Wichita State.
Hell yeah! Everybody's picking Wichita State in this game against State. Exactly. I think that's a the seeding is wrong.
I'm also picking Seton Hall.
I took Seton Hall as well over Arkansas.
Oh, me too. Arkansas, yeah. I picked Seton.
Yeah, they're SEC. Okay, you want to talk about bad tournament teams? Let's talk about the SEC. Okay.
Correct. Besides Florida and Kentucky.
Yes. It's so awesome. Michigan, Oklahoma State. I picking Michigan. I know that's not an upset or anything like that, but I think Michigan is one of the teams that's going to make at least a Sweet 16 appearance. I think they have the power to go to Elite Eight. They're just a dark horse team that nobody knows anything about right now.
This might be very controversial, okay? So in the Elite Eight, I believe the Elite Eight, or maybe No. The Sweet 16. I
Uh-huh.
have Butler going up against UNC, and I have Butler winning.
Okay, wait. You have UNC. Oh, wow. Believe it or not, guys, I don't even have UNC getting past the Sweet 16.
Ooh. No, neither do I. They're not getting into the Sweet 16?
Yeah, dude, I have UNC.
You have them losing to Seton Hall?
Yeah.
I think they'll beat Seton Hall, but I think that'll be a tough game.
I can't believe I did that. I must have misstepped that one. But who knows? We're gonna go.
You must have pulled a Hank.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Yes, that was well deserved. Wow, unbelievable. My buddy Eric would. I'd be crucified for that, for not at least getting them to the Sweet 16. But yeah, I had in my other bracket that I did, I have a UNC Duke Final Four appearance. I thought that was pretty cool.
UNC.
And then, but I have Arizona taking most of it. As far as that goes, I think Gonzaga loses to Northwestern. Oh, I don't think that.
That's a definite possibility. But I don't think I have. Do I? I have Gonzaga losing to Arizona, which I know Gonzaga beat Arizona this year, but I think it's going to be revenge.
Okay. And here's the last game for the round of 64 that I think that might be interesting to be Miami and Michigan State. Now, Kelly, I know you don't like Big Ten teams, but do you see Michigan State getting by?
I have Miami winning.
I picked Michigan State.
Wow.
There you go.
I like that. I like Michigan State too.
But I also picked Michigan in their game.
Okay.
I don't think.
So you think?
I picked Oklahoma State.
Kelly picked Oklahoma State.
Wow. And that's because you're a Big 12 girl, huh? I know.
I just like to be risky.
I know. It's very risque. Yes, you're being very risque right now. Oh, man. Wouldn't it be sick just to see Texas Southern beat up on UNC?
Yes.
Oh.
That'd be awesome. But probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I really hope Kent State beats UCLA. I'm not trying to take away your winner already, Kelly. But Ohio, Kent State, got to go with them. But I didn't pick them. I picked UCLA. I'm not an idiot, but I'm not a homer.
Exactly. If you pick it wrong, you'll just say, "Oh, it was just an accident."
You're picking Penn State to make up for that BS Ohio State getting picked to play in the Big Ten championship game over Penn State, even though they won head-to-head.
Ooh.
Excuse me, we lost one game. How many games did they lose?
Ooh.
We lost 2 games.
Hey. You know what? You know. All I have to say is this.
Those stats are for losers.
They lost to Clemson and Pitt. And
Final
Pitt
scores for winners.
beat Clemson.
That's true. We can argue that until
I will die on that hill.
She will die on that. She will get staked by that sword.
10-2. It's it. It's gotta be. I mean, I know Ohio State wasn't nearly ready for that, but I think Penn State wasn't going to be nearly ready for that either. Big Ten was not good this year in the college football. I will say that.
Yeah.
Ohio State got in by name only.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
And Kelly also hopes that Condoleezza Rice was against putting Ohio State in.
I mean, I'm going to get off on a whole other tangent, so I'm just going to stop.
All right. So let's play. Do you guys want to play some buy or sell?
Let's participate in game and podcast Horse Radio.
Pew, 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 pew.
Let's do some buy or sell, guys.
Hey, Josh, you're back.
Yeah, I took a little break just because I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to college basketball. I mean, to the point where literally teams you guys are saying, I've never even heard of those places before. If you said, where is Seton Hall?
It's in New
I couldn't
Jersey,
tell you.
right?
have no
It's
clue.
in New. I believe
Where?
it's in New Jersey. I think some.
Oh,
I think
what the-
my college friends went to Seton Hall,
It's
and then there's a Seton Hall prep.
It's in New Jersey.
It's in New Jersey. It's in like Orange, Essex County,
South
New Jersey.
Orange. Yeah.
South Orange. Okay. So
Right
those are
there,
my,
Josh would
those
know,
are my
but
people.
So here's some buy or sell. Hank, we're gonna start with some NFL, and then we'll move on to some other questions. But do you buy or sell that Revis had a fall guy, and that's
Yes,
why he was out
I
all charges?
do. Actually, that was one of the first things I said to Kelly after it happened. Is I was like,
It's
he
true.
definitely had a fall guy, and somewhere Warren Sapp's just like, damn, he had a fall guy. He listened to me.
It wasn't Warren Sapp.
Oh, yeah, Chris Carter.
Carter.
But Warren Sapp went along with it though, and then he went out and ordered a hooker during the Super Bowl, and he did not have a fall guy. He did not have like a 300-pound impersonator.
I was about to say. See, when you start getting that big, like Brandon Williams from the Ravens, that man is never gonna have a fall guy because who the hell is like 6'3" but like 320 pounds?
Why do you think Alden Smith never had a fall guy?
Yeah. Okay.
He
DJ?
made a terroristic threat at an actual airport. He's still going to get a fall guy.
So Hank, you are obviously completely buying that Darrelle Revis has
Had
a fall guy.
He had to. Like, that story was just so weird to begin with anyway. He had to have had a fall guy.
I'm selling the fact that he had a fall. I'm selling that fact completely. I think they just dropped the charges because they dropped the charges. There's no fall guy here. They just basically said, oh, well, you do something for me, the police department did something. I don't know what happened. I don't think there's a fall guy involved, but
Do you think there was a lot of money involved?
I think there's money involved, but not a fall guy.
Payoff?
Because Darrelle Revis isn't the smallest guy in the world, like you guys just brought up. Like,
Well,
he has a beard. He's pretty recognizable.
I feel like anybody in the NFL, the fact that literally their job is to just work out and be in peak physical form, I feel like any of them punching you probably would not feel too good.
Although the fact that Darrelle Revis was out of shape this year might portrays the fact that there might be a fall guy because he was looking so average. Aha!
Well, they
Wait.
identified the friend's voice, not
Yeah.
his.
Maybe the
body.
fall guy was Antonio Cromartie. Maybe Darrelle Revis paid him all that money for child support to.
Or maybe Plexico Burris was walking out of a club in New York after he had shot himself in the leg.
I looked down at my Chuck Taylors and I saw blood.
And what's his face is right next
He was
to
who?
Bronco idiot.
Oh, Aqib
It
Talib.
was,
Oh yeah,
Both-
he hasn't
both-
got charged yet.
Both
no, he didn't. Not the one in Dallas strip club.
both equally cheddar bobs.
That's your Cheddar Bob moment right there.
Cheddar bob.
Okay. On to the next buy or sell question. Here we go. Hank, do you buy or sell Kirk Cousins will get a long-term deal with the Redskins?
I'm gonna sell that because I think next year he's gone regardless. I think honestly I think the whole thing is like the whole relationship is soured. I think the moment he becomes a free agent, he's just gonna go somewhere else.
Yep, and I'm gonna sell
yes,
it too.
He will get a multi-year contract, not with the Redskins.
Correct. I'm selling this as well. There's no way, especially when you walk into the owner's office and demand a trade. Once that happens, you're either going to get released, cut, or traded. One is going to happen. He will do this year. He will be a Redskin this year
They
to
don't have a
serve
choice.
And
his
unless you're
$23 million, and then he'll be once again either released or traded to the San Francisco 49ers next year.
Kobe Bryant demanded a trade, ended up staying with the Lakers and winning multiple rings. So you never know.
But then they were like, we're
get that.
going to trade you to Detroit. And he was like, oh, I'll stay with you guys. Just kidding. I'm not going there.
Oh, God.
It's okay. I mean, I was just saying things, you know.
I didn't do it.
What's the next question there, Josh?
All right, guys. So our next buy or sell question. buy or sell that Khaleesi will sit atop the Iron Throne by the end of Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
Hank?
I don't know.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
We don't watch that show.
We don't watch that show.
Okay.
Well,
To everyone on Two Birds and a Third who's a normal person and actually is in touch with reality, I'm sorry that Hank has never seen
We
Game
can
of
talk
Thrones.
about Teen Mom.
We can talk about Teen Mom though.
Oh, jeez, not Team Mom. No.
So are you gonna buy or sell, DJ?
I'm gonna sell the fact.
Wait.
I'm selling. I don't think you can kill Jon Snow twice. I think he stays, and I think he's gonna rule with Daenerys as his queen.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Sexy.
So that's mine. Josh, what is yours? Tell me.
I think that Khaleesi will sit on top of the Iron Throne, and I think Tyrion is going to be the hand of the Queen still, and I think Jon Snow is going to be the king in the North.
He's staying in the North. You think they're going to have that faction? Because they're already trying to give it to the Iron Islands.
Who knows? Maybe.
Iron Islands are trying to get a faction going. So you think they're just going to destroy the what's it called, the Lannisters, and it's just going to be the North and her, and then the Iron Islands. Those
Absolutely.
three. Those three.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next question, Josh. Because I don't believe that.
You don't have any?
My theory is that there's going to be only one ruler. It's going to be Jon Snow and her, and then the North is going to be combined with what they're going to be. I don't think there's going to be a faction between them.
Hank, buy or sell that somebody will figure out how to do a perfect bracket.
No.
Wow. Ever?
I'm sure somebody has done a perfect bracket.
The odds are
Like
1 in
like
over
the
9
people
million.
who make like 64 bracket, like 130.
No, there's never been a recorded one.
There's never been a
Ever.
recorded one.
Nope.
Ever.
Somebody
Ever.
will. Somebody will eventually.
Hank's like semi-new to this bracket thing in the last few years, so.
No, I started in 2008.
Okay.
No, somebody will. Like statistically speaking, there are 7 or 8 billion people in this world. Somebody will eventually. Like
Hank,
some
8
kid
billion
living.
people. 8 billion people. I'm sorry, but the little girl living in Honduras is not filling out an NCAA bracket right now, Hank.
It's true.
You can't count all 8 billion
Okay, fine.
people.
Really can't.
Fine. What? How
300
many
There's
people?
360 million Americans, so let's just say 2/3 of Americans fill out. That's still very generous.
No, I'd say like a fifth.
A fifth. So
It'll
a fifth
happen. It'll eventually happen.
But here's the thing: do you buy or sell that we will ever see a perfect bracket
Ever see in our lifetime? Like,
in our lifetime? Do you think that? Yes, you know what? 1,000 years from now, if they're still doing the NCAA tournament, obviously it'll happen.
I'm buying that because statistically speaking, it will happen.
Can somebody look up the statistics right now? Can somebody?
it's
I know
like 1
we're
in
interrupting.
9 billion.
I wanna-
Chances of getting perfect March Madness bracket. So the chances are, oh my!
I
Jesus.
told you 1 in 9
one
billion.
in 9.2 quintillion,
What?
Quintillion, which is
which is
what,
more than a trillion.
15 zeros.
Yeah, 15 zeros. 5,
Quintillion.
10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay, Hank, you know what? I'm gonna skip DJ and I'm gonna completely sell that in my lifetime there will be a quintillion March Madness brackets made for somebody to win because I'm sorry, but that number is how many teams are in it? 68?
64.
Yeah.
64.
68. Well, it's 68 with the new additions.
True.
See, I don't even know that, but 68, and then you have to think of you multiply 68 times 67 times 66. And then you go through that all the way down until you get to 1. I'm selling. I don't think we'll ever see it in our life.
It says Jeff Bergen, a professor at DePaul University, or just DePaul, thinks it's as high as 1 in 128 billion. That's a little bit easier. Just a little bit.
120 billion, just
120, yeah. But still, I think it's there has to be a guy. There are many people who just fill out brackets, just fill out multiple,
and they don't get it. And how long have we been doing this? They still haven't gotten it. How many times? They give you 64 brackets on the fucking ESPN bracket machine. You get 64 tries to try to get it, and there hasn't been one.
You know what we have to do? We have to get 64 friends together and just do all the combinations.
Wow. I don't think that would be enough, but still.
We will be the first next year.
Do we have 64 friends that we can get together that would each fill out 64 brackets to make sure that we can do every single combination of every single bracket to make sure we get it? That would take Hank. We could do that. That would take.
We will find that person, and we will split,
like a week to plan it.
And we will split $1 million 64 ways.
Wow. We could do that and still make a decent amount of money. It wouldn't be a terrible thing. No. But don't give anybody else the idea of what we're doing. We're doing this on live right now. Exactly. So people are going to understand what we're trying to do, and they're going to try to replicate it.
Right.
I highly doubt that everyone's sitting there right now like, oh yeah, all we have to do is get 64 friends together to each write 64 brackets. That shouldn't be too hard. I doubt anybody's thinking they should do that.
That's easy.
Besides us sitting right here right now.
Hey, anything could happen. Like someone getting a perfect bracket.
Hey. Anything could happen. You're absolutely right.
Hey, so you're telling me there's a chance.
So I think on that note, with Dumb and Dumber, we're going to end on that. So thank you guys for joining us again for a lovely podcast of Two Birds and a Third. We're glad we were able to touch on a couple more subjects. Don't forget, we are coming into one of my favorite times of the year, springtime, which means baseball is upon us. There will be plenty of live games that we will be going to. We will let you guys know how awesome it is to be out at the field. And don't forget that we will be touching on that, as well as the basketball championships coming up and hopefully some NHL playoffs if the Sharks can do what we hope they did last year and maybe take it one step further.
There's a lot more stuff we need to get into. We'll come down that road when we need to.
And this was the Two Birds and a Third football podcast. Thank you and good night.